Let's talk about the latest inflation figures right now with Justin Urquhart Stewart. He's economist and chairman of Regionally Investment Platform. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Well, there's some good news at 7 o'clock. I mean, it's not very often we get this good news, but inflation, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, latest figures from the Office for National Statistics showing the inflation rate is down to 7.9% in June, down from 8.7% in May. A good, solid fall. Crucially also, core inflation, which has been previously rising, that's sort of when you take all the extras, really volatile things like energy prices out, that has fallen slightly from to 6.9%, down from 7.1%. There'll actually be, I think, a few cheers in the in number 10 today.
Well, yes, it's still inflation, but it's lower inflation. So the price is still going up. Don't fool ourselves here. We're not dealing with deflation yet. But it's down from the original peak we had as just over 11%. Now, as you say, good news here is the fact, actually, that energy, and so whether it's diesel and petrol or just other forms of energy, have come down quite significantly. Also food as well. Now, we haven't got the details of those figures yet, but I'm expecting those to be probably closer to about 6, maybe even closer to 5%. That's encouraging, but this is core inflation, so it includes actually wage rises, and that's still coming down, but still really rather slowly, and we still don't compare very favourably with the other leading nations. We're still sticking out the top, I'm afraid.
And why is that?
Well, it certainly looks as though we've been actually paying actually out more in terms of pay levels. We need to go down in more figures. These are only headline figures at the moment. But we are seeing other price levels, as I said, energy and food, coming down more dramatically. But if we are going to continue to actually pay higher levels, then I'm afraid it's very difficult to shake it off. Those who remember the 70s and 80s, we actually had that inflation package at that time was led by consumer spending. And that's why they raised interest rates. And this is what's so stupid this time. This is not consumer spending driving inflation. Inflation is being actually led by supply. Now, an encouraging figure to look at later today will be factory output. And that's a really rather tedious thing to look at, but it's rather key. It's a good indicator for the future. Yeah. And that factory output costs are coming down quite significantly. And so I'm looking at a figure there probably will be about 5%.
And that will be down presumably to energy costs, but also, of course, food inflation, some of the the costs of producing food, but also fertiliser costs as a result of the Ukraine war. A lot of those things perhaps sort of calming down a bit now.
Yeah, so it looks so there is a better outlook to it, but it's still stubbornly high. I just hope now the Bank are going to take this as a hint. Don't put interest rates up. That will stop the inflation. Okay, well, by the
way, what did you make of the fact that they've got £25 million in staff bonuses at the Bank of England? I mean, given that their target is they literally have one job. That is a 2% inflation, which its target. They're at 4 times that, but they got bonuses. What do they get bonuses for?
Well, it's funny enough, this is interesting. I actually found myself running a business where I didn't get a bonus if I didn't make money. I didn't get a bonus. You actually got paid for being in work. You didn't get a bonus for being in work. You got a bonus for being really successful at your work. Turning up to get a bonus, well, frankly, I'm afraid that's one of the sins of the city, I'm afraid, that has to be got rid of. So the Bank of England, frankly, wake up and smell the coffee on that one. But you actually... Yeah, I was
going to say, talking of bonuses, a bonus for Somerset, the county of Somerset, they are going to get a new Tata gigafactory to make new Jaguar batteries, new Jaguar battery plants. This is an electric car battery plant in Somerset that has been, a deal has been sold. It's £4 billion worth of investment, but the UK is giving a £500 million subsidy to win this. This is more than Spain were offering, and that's why we've got the plant. I'm very confused about this. Why on earth are we offering Tata, a company owned by multi-billionaires, money to invest in a factory? If Somerset's the right place for them to have their factory, wouldn't they do it anyway?
Well, and also bear in mind, Tata also own the remnants of British Steel over there, and they've been having some trouble, and they managed to get another 300 million out of the government. So 800 million for quite a wealthy company really is quite a decent extra freebie to have. Now, why are they doing this? The answer is it's international competition, led, I have to say, by what you're seeing in America, by President Biden, if he's still awake, and he introduced the Inflation Act, Inflation Resistance Act, to actually try and, unfortunately called the IRA, mustn't get that confused, but the point was actually having huge subsidies to invest in America in these sort of areas. And that means companies looking around the world saying, oh, look, America's actually giving us a good bonus here, we'll go and put our gigafactory or what happens to be over there. Spain having to do exactly the same, and we're having to do the same. So I'm afraid it's a terrible choice at the moment. Hobson's choice. Do you actually want to participate in this or not? And if you don't want to, well, I'm sorry, you don't get the gigafactory. If you don't get the gigafactory, you may not actually get the car manufacturing. And when you're talking about 9,000 jobs in a place like Somerset, not well known for manufacturing, probably more for cider, and therefore it's going to be an interesting issue how much more extra money they're going to get for that, because 500 million, I suspect, is probably just the start of this.
Someone say money well spent. I say I'm thinking more scrumpy, having come from that part of the world for many years of my life.